can you? Oh, wait. Audio system mic. Let's see. I think you can hear me. I think. Okay. Well, let's see. I've got to go down here. Properties. Window capture. Active Trader Pro. Oh, no. We want. Where is Active Trader Pro? OBS Studios. We want Active Trader Pro down there. Okay. Bum, 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 bum. Okay. I think you can hear me. Let me just make sure. Let's look and turn up the volume. Okay, you can hear me. I think that's good enough. We got the Active Trader Pro. We're going back into Safari. And we're going to do some scans. I got to pull up my notes. I think I've got for emit. By the way, YouTube audience, I will be doing a little bit of custom for emit. From Facebook, going over fish hooks, gap up, gap down, and SMA crosses with the RSI. But kind of, let's look at scans. And good morning to anybody who's watching. Let's see. Let's do some scans. Yesterday, bad day. And by the way, another bad day today. Nothing on the core investments. Let's look at my brokerage holdings to see if there's anything there. Nope. Let's look at sectors. I don't think any sectors. Nope. Let's look at my not owned list. I've got to share some of these lists as well. MongoDB, by the way. Anybody get into MongoDB? Not owned stop. I'm going to stop that one because that's not going to find anything. Let's see recently viewed. Tallow. Is that Travel America? No, Talos Energy. Let's look at recently viewed here. That had a cross up. Energy's just a mess. I'm going to stop that. Let's look at recently viewed here. It's going over ETF stuff. Let's go to the Dow 30. Actually, you know what? Let's look at the ARCs. Anything on ARCs? Morning, Chris. Happy hump day. Surface Oncology. I don't like that chart. See how it's got below the 9-day there? That's just too messy. It breaks above the 9-day for one candle. Wow, that one period on December 5th, that 1 4-hour candle was a 10% swing. Too rich for my blood. Wow. This is a nice chart. Let's look at the strategy tester on this. Oh, got it. Run. Wow. Look at that run. CRS. Let's go back to CRS. They're not making money. The price to sales is 1. $45 price target. They are trading right at 45. Ugh. God. Be wary of Carpenter Technology and its return on capital. Let's see. Is a metric of evaluating how pre-tax. Oh, excuse me. Bless me. Since I can't hear you guys. Okay, I'm not going to do that one. Market scanner, that was Arley Arc Holdings. Let's go down to the Dow 30. Let's see if any of these big indices had any cross-ups. Nope, not the Dow 30. We'll look at the NASDAQ 100. Where's my NASDAQ 100? There we go. Nope. And let's look at the S&P 100. Oh, I don't want insurance index. I want the S&P 100. God, TrendSpider is overwhelming if you don't know where to look. And let's finally look at the energy sector. There we go. Energy. METCL. Ramaco. Ooh, that's just crossing. That's going to use the 200-day. Maybe cross down it. It's got an ascending triangle. Bullish. And tallow. Let's look at REI real quick. How did this one do? Oh, it's lost everything. Strategy tester. It's filling that gap, just like I said. Let me put this in. Put this in my notes. Where are my notes? My windows are a little bit condensed here. It lost its confirmation. Is that a... Oh. It covered that bottom gap. Once it's refilled it, I think we look... Okay, I'm going to start, by the way, with a SPY. A SPY look. So we had no scans. Cross-ups today. Okay. By the way, Boyle bounced. Airbnb. Chinese stocks. We're going to look at REI again. What's MongoDB? MDB. This one's going to wind up. We can go over to Active Trader Pro and look at MongoDB. Boo. Close, by the way. BINGO lost its confirmation yesterday as well. Look at MDB. Boom. Earnings. Wow. Boyle. Boom. Gained its footing again. Let's go BNGO. It lost its... Kind of opened up yesterday around here, closed around here, and has lost its footing. Let's look at BNGO. We'll look at BNGO from yesterday. Okay. I'll go back to Safari. And let me see, is my... Okay, my GarageBand is up. Okay, we got 5 people watching. And I'm on this 1920s chair. I don't need my phone, I don't think. But we'll start out with a SPY. start with SPY. And then, what I want to do is I want to go back to strategy tester, and I want to go to my sectors. And I'm going to look at these sectors. And we're going to run the sector spider. XLC is down. XLP, this is consumer staples. That's still in a run. Wow, that's still in a run. XLE, look at how it lost. XLE, that's a great example, by the way, if you're looking to invest in energy. Look at how it lost all of its confirmation as a sector. It's broken that ascending triangle. Got you out with a 27% increase. XLF got you out with a 9%. It's going to fill that gap down to 3,416. XLV healthcare hasn't gotten out, but it's got that button hook. XLB, which is materials. It's got a button hook. This is real estate, I believe. Yep. God, it's got that button hook using that 200-day. XLK. XLU. Okay, we'll go over this stuff. Morning, Zephin. I'm trying to shout out on YouTube before I start. I'm 11 minutes in. Okay. Good morning. It's Wednesday, December 7th. And I have to say, because I talked with a subscriber, what I was told I'm not being as entertaining as I used to be. But then a listener also said, I don't tune in for the entertainment. So, it is what it is. I am 11 minutes in on YouTube Live. So if you're listening along on the podcast and want to see the charts, because you will want to see these charts, go to YouTube Live, and you're going to go 11 minutes in to see it. We're going to start out with SPY. So what's going on with the markets? So here is the SPY chart, and it's on the algorithm, so it's a 4-hour look at it. You clearly crossed that 200-day right back here, that red line. You kind of went up, lost all its footing. So we are in a downward trend right now. You've got gaps below. We're breaking the 200-day. You've got gaps here between 377 and 385, and you've got a gap here between 360 and 364. Completely expected to go down there. You're at 393 right now. If the last few days have hurt as much as they have me, doesn't sound good. You've got a MACD cross down. You're probably going to get out today from the algorithm perspective if you're trading SPY. So you'd want to do the inverse. If you're actually trading the S&P, you'd want to do the inverse. That's not suggestion, but that's the look at SPY, the overall thing. So essentially what I was doing on YouTube Live for about a couple minutes before was looking at some of the sectors. And I think I shared the sector list with folks. If not, and you're in TrendSpider and you want this sector list, essentially I just went to SPDR. I just Googled SPDR and looked at the spider sectors. And you can look at the overall sector. Now, remember, these are the X kind of ETFs. So there's XLE, XL for energy, XLF for financial, XLV for healthcare. There's 11 different sectors, I believe, and they all converge to make that S&P kind of quote-unquote heat map that you see on FinViz. But XLC, communication sector, look at the chart. It's using that 200-day as its resistance level right there. It's got a gap down here between 47 and 46. So anything in that XLC, the communication sector, I'd probably look at shorting and going on the short side on that one. Doesn't mean short the stock, means find an ETF that maybe is a reversal. I don't do shorts just because you can get burned on that real quick. Consumer staples, XLP. Look at this one across the 200-day. We've gotten the button hook. And that button hook in the algorithm is going to cause it to probably move down towards that 200-day. Question is, does it use the 200-day as its support level, or does it break through it and start filling this gap down below here? Well, that gap was actually filled on the way up. So it doesn't really have a gap on the way down, but that I can see. Now, go to Spectre Spider Energy. This has an ascending triangle. TrendSpider automatically puts it in there for me. You had a buy-in here at 72.07 on September 30th. You got out on November 22nd with a 27% gain. And it is clear as day you have no support here. You're probably going down to that 200-day at minimum at 82. You're trading at 85 right now. If you break that 200-day, my guess is you go down to the 72 or 74. There's a clear volume shelf. Actually, I'm going to pull this back a little bit to move that over there. And the volume shelf is clear as day at 82. Right where kind of the 200-day is. So if you break that volume shelf, I think, you've got a couple of the volume shelves down there. But XLE, you're kind of out of as well. XLF, this was an interesting one because this one just got you out yesterday with a 9% gain. You had a buy-in here October 13th at 31.45. As you ascend, you can clearly see it's above that 9-day. You got out with a 9% gain. You got the button hook. You're filling this gap down to 34.19. You're at 34.74 right now. I'd expect it to continue to go down. See the MACD, see the RSI. Continue to expect it to go down until it's oversold. Doesn't mean that you go long today. It means that you do the inverse on any of the XLF. Healthcare, XLV. This is, you're in and it's clear as day. 125 on October 14th, and you had the run, and you're up at 138. You've filled the gaps. It's above the 200-day, crossed above there. The 200 days at 129. You've got the beginning of a button hook in XLV. XLI, same thing. So my point being, we can go down all of these sectors. Consumer discretionary, that's one that where it's just been lounging kind of down here in the 140 range. This is XLY, and I personally own this one. It's got a gap here between 133 and 137 that probably it will fill. XLK, I think that's the technology one. Yeah, that's the technology one. It's using the 200-day as its resistance. It crossed through it, but it got a button hook. You had a buy-in here November 10th at 128. Once it crossed that 200-day, then the gap between 126 and 122 is in play. So what you want to do is you want to use these sectors and try and determine, okay, which ones are in good runs, which one can I buy, and then go and find your individual stocks if that's what you want to invest in. So I think that's an overall market look that we're kind of in the middle of going down. Doesn't mean there aren't stocks that are going up, but it means that overall, I think the market just got too hot. You're going to have CPI data coming out, inflation data. I think it's Thursday or Friday, tomorrow or Friday. You've got the Fed meeting next week. You also have the Miss America pageant next week. Bullish on that. I'll be working up there in Connecticut, so next week I'll be doing this from a hotel room. But overall, it doesn't make sense to get into any of these sectors, any kind of long-term stock right now. We probably have more downside. There's probably better places to buy stuff. But if you see something like MongoDB, they had a earnings last night. MDB, this is a software company, and they are going to be up big. Let's look at their fundamentals in FinViz. Now, the forward PE is 1,432. This is a crazy. I need to alter my ad block for FinViz, but they're not making money. They're down 72% this year. Their price to sales is 9.29. It's crazy expensive. Yesterday, JP Morgan Securities upgraded them, $215 price target. If we go over here to Active Trader Pro, I'll show you MongoDB here. MDB. MDB. And this is just a 2-day chart. So you can see yesterday it closed down here at 142. It's going to open up at 183. But remember, JP Morgan Securities, $215 price target. Now you go back here into June. These guys have a $360 price target, blah, blah, blah. So the monkeys don't always mean, hey, the price target has got to be hit. It's just a valuation of the company in the current market. But MongoDB, great example of, hey, their company's making money. So with that, I wanted to look at probably, listener stuff is probably the best. GDXU Tom from Twitter had mentioned, I love my ETFs, my levered ETFs. Well, gold has been on a run, if you haven't noticed. Commodities and gold and metals and things has been on a run. This had a buy-in November 7th at $30.33. You're at $42 right now. It's got the button hook. The RSI is at 52. It's not super high. The MACD isn't crossing up. It's not crossing down. It's kind of in no man's land. You're right near the 200-day. So I would be afraid that this one would come back to the 200-day, which is at about 40. If you can get this one under 40, I think you're good. Because if we do go into a recession, these gold miners are going to go up. And that's what's holding the market down, by the way. It's all the fears of recession. So Tom brought that one up. The other one that he brought up, which is an interesting one, is CRK. This is Comstock Resources. If you're a Cowboys fan, this is Jerry Jones. He threw billions of dollars into this. It's a natural gas play, an energy play. Let's go over to see FinViz. Oh, you know what? Am I still in? Yeah, I'm still in. We'll go over to Safari. CRK is one. Let's go to FinViz, and we'll look at FinViz for Comstock. Their PE is 3, so they're not super expensive, but remember, it's an energy, oil, and gas, so the PEs on these are going to be super, super low anyway. December 7th, the downgrade from Citigroup, buy to sell, with a $14 price target. Today, this one is trading. You can see once the dividend hit, just kind of lost all its stuff. It's at $14.81 right now. These guys, let's see, Comstock Resources. An independent energy company engages in acquisition, exploration, development, and production of oil and natural gas, primarily in North Louisiana and East Texas. So it's a natural gas play, and Jerry Jones put billions of dollars into it. I, myself, a Giants fan. Yeah, big Giants fan. So F Jerry Jones. And if you don't like his recent pictures that came out from a rally, yeah, I'm not a fan. But CRK, at some point in time, this becomes another good one. Let's see what it's doing in pre-market. Let me go over to Active Trader Pro, because we do have some energy news from the U.S. and and Britain, and this one's not reacting. It's not reacting at all. So, but it's interesting. I will tell you one that is reacting, and while we're looking at it, Boyle. Boyle seems to have hit that bounce, and it closed at 25.73. It's trading at 28 in the pre-market. And the reason it's trading at 28 is because the U.S. and the U.K. basically had an agreement with U.S. doubling its exports of natural gas to the U.K. And I think it's a 10-year, 15-year thing. Huge move. It was oversold. The RSI is at 26. I think this basically gets it back to, it's still under the 9-day. You still don't have confirmation on this one. You've got all kinds of upside, but one of the discussions that we're talking about in the private Facebook group is, okay, where's Boyle going? Well, here. It's going down. I mean, that's essentially where you're going. Let me move this a little bit more so that we can get more data in here. This is a chart going back to 2012. I talked to you guys a lot about these triple levered ETFs, that they are decaying in value. So natural gas this is what a decaying value ETF looks like. And if you look back in 2021, we were at $26. Now, this naturally will go down, but what you saw was it come up. And the reason was because natural gas and energy, there was a war in Ukraine. Russia started holding back Nord Stream. Natural gas just became an explosive stock. So I have no doubt in my mind that this should probably be around, if you just drew a trend line. Let's kind of draw a trend line here from, let's just continue down. So if you were today, and you were, I've got two. Yeah, I am on Safari. Look at that trend line. So if we just went down, today you would be at $6 if you just followed that trend line. So I again, I don't want to say that it won't go up, but when you look at this, we've just had this capitulation here. You can see there was a capitulation here back in 2016. You kind of didn't go down at the same rate. And then in 2018, you kind of went up. Energy took a shot up. Well, and then you came down. Then you went up. So the trend line indicates to me that it should continue to go down, but you are going to see these fluctuations. And because we have a 4-hour chart, we are in this significantly more volatile section. Now, KOLD, you've been in this one. You're not out. It doesn't have you out yet, but that button hook is going to be pretty damn strong. So at 22, let me see what it's trading in pre-market. KOLD is going to be down as much. It's trading at $20. So you're down to about this level, right at the 9-day. So the 9-day is probably going to start to make a button hook. If you bought in at 17, I'd probably think about taking some profits. That would be my deal on that one. But again, Tom had GDXU, triple levered ETF, and CRK. Those were the two they wanted. Hung Wen from YouTube asked me yesterday, can I look at coin? This is Coinbase, and what are my thoughts on it? So from a chart perspective, this is the algorithm, and here are the numbers for the algorithm, just so you know. It's over 1,000 candles. So because you have a 4-hour candle, 2 candles per trading day. So it's 500 trading days. So I don't know where that goes back to, but if you want to do it, you can figure that out. The algorithm, if you buy and sell, you have 32 positions within those 1,000 candles. You lost 80%. 25% were wins. Your average win is 7%. So it's not a crazy, horrible stock, but trading-wise, it's going to go down. Now, here's the thing. The algorithm outperforms just buying and holding, because buying and holding would lose you 88%. So you want to make sure that you pick your winners. It's just you only win 25% of the time. So 1 in 4. It's not a huge winning percentage. The algorithm does have you in at 44.76. You're trading at 42 right now. The RSI is down at 38. That MACD, let me expand this to see the MACD. If my finger will get down there. The MACD is crossing down. I probably wouldn't buy into this one right now. I think your pivot point is probably 40. But crypto, Jamie Dimon yesterday called it a pet rock. This one's not making money. Make no mistake about it. The price to sales is 1.81. They're down 83% year to date. November 18th, downgrade from Bank of America Securities. $50 price target. That's generous, in my opinion. Daiwa Securities, November 9th, $52 price target. September 29th, Wells Fargo initiated coverage. They said, $57 price target. September 9th, Daiwa Securities, they just downgraded them, but they had upgraded them in September 9th to $100. They didn't see the FTX thing coming. So I'm not a big Coinbase fan. Here's why I don't think a Coinbase works. Crypto with Jamie Dimon and other people like, Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett, they're old and they may not understand things, But these guys understand money and how to make money. With them kind of saying, hey, it doesn't make sense, you're going to get beaten down. So I'd probably stay away from Coinbase. I mean, I'd just stay away from crypto right now. I don't think it makes sense. You can trade it. You can trade GBTC. You can trade some of these ETHs, some of the Greystone ones. But I would probably stay away from crypto as a whole, and that includes coin. The one that I might think about investing in is Mara. Mara's it's a miner, and they basically mine Bitcoin. You know, they set up these mines, and it's the leading miner. $6.05 was the buy-in on November 30th. It's kind of got lost its way. I wouldn't buy into it now, but this one regularly trades up to the 200-day. Here in the algorithm, I'll show you. When crypto starts to get a run, you can easily see this one running. This one, you make 27% in the algorithm on Mara. Buying and holding makes you 15%. Now you have 29 positions within those 1,000 candles. You win 28% of the time. But in comparison to your 7% win in Coinbase, Mara, with the algorithm, average win 51%. That's the one that, and here's the difference. Even if you go over to Finviz, Mara's not making money. Their forward PE is 10.41. Their price to sales is 4. It's expensive. They're down 82%. But earnings per share next year expected to grow by 121%. This year, their earnings went down by 183%, and that's because crypto has crashed this year, absolutely crashed. But the expectation is crypto should go up next year. So you look at some of the downgrades. BTIG Research downgraded from buy to neutral on September 23rd. June 24th, Cowen initiated coverage with a $7 price target. June 3rd, Chardan Capital Markets buy with a $19 price target. So I don't want to say that any of this makes sense, but you can look at some of the Finviz articles, Global Newswire. That's a PR, a press release. 12 best blockchain stocks to buy now from Investor Monkey. You can look at some of those articles, but I would probably go to that one hung. You know, in my opinion, I think you have a better chance of trading that one to success than trading Coinbase to success. Daniel on Facebook wanted me to look at Plug, which is a EV stock. Let's take a look at what they do specifically. And by the way, we're in for a lot of James, I'm sorry you lost your butt on Mara. I think, again, Mara, it just got killed on crypto. Plug Power, let's look at them. Delivers end-to-end clean hydrogen and zero emissions fuel cells. So it's not an EV, it's more of a plug. On-road electric vehicles, stationary power market. It's essentially a renewables electric car company, hydrogen car company. They're not making money. They have no dividend. They're down 51% year to date. Their earnings per share this year expected to grow 51%. Next year, only 38%. So you can probably expect it to slide even more because they're probably going to bring it down. If we're going into a recession, they're going to bring that down. The algorithm has you out of this one as of yesterday. It crashed. It's got no confirmation, nothing. The RSI is at 31. The algorithm loses you 57% versus buying and holding only loses you 48%. 30 positions, you win 17% of the time. Your average win is 45%. And the reason your average win is 45%, by the way, is there are probably, and I'll take a look at it, just a few, because you only win 17% of the time. 29%. So if you only win 17% of the time, again, Mara is probably a better play. Plug, I'm not a fan of it. I mean, what are we going to do? Put hydrogen stations around to replace the gas stations? Why not just go electric? You know, when your solid state batteries, 500-mile range cars that will charge in 10, 15 minutes, that's a better option for fuel. Now, the other one Daniel wanted me to look at, it has big news. Taiwan Semiconductor, and Apple announced yesterday with them that they are going to be moving their chips. The majority of their chips will be produced here in America by Taiwan Semi in Phoenix. And it was a huge event. Biden was there, the whole thing. But Taiwan Semiconductor, here's the deal with this one. Warren Buffett said, yeah, I'm buying Taiwan Semiconductor. It was down here at around 61. And he bought a bunch of it. It immediately went up towards 80. So Taiwan Semiconductor, the algorithm loses you 10%. Buying and holding this one loses you 23%. This is part of the chips thing. I don't think you have a problem buying this anywhere around the 200-day, which is 78. The problem you have is it's got the Buffett effect. He's going to buy it and hold it forever. The PE is 14, so it's not super expensive when it comes to chips. Daiwa Securities, September 14th, they upgraded it. The price target is around, it looks like about 100. And again, you're trading at 80. So it's a good move up. You can read some of the articles on it. There's nothing crazy. Their earnings per share next year are expected to decrease by 7%. I think you'll be able to get this back in the 60s at some point in time. Again, we're in a downward trending market. If we go into a recession, I expect that to continue going down through next year. So I'm not in any rush to buy this, but 5 years from now, I think you're fine buying this at about, Buffett bought it. My guess is that we're going to cover this gap down to 73 at some point. It's kind of lost its way a little bit. I wouldn't buy it right now. Wait for it to get out. Its dividend X date is December 14th. They pay a 2.3% dividend, so it's a decent dividend. So you can hold on to this one. Again, even through a recession, if you buy a stock with a dividend through a recession, you're still getting paid to hold that. So even though you lose money, long term, in a bull market, could double, could go way up. So Daniel, great play on one. The other one, yeah. By the way, I will say, I can't believe I don't have more Seinfeld fans. I posted on Twitter and I posted on Facebook private group. The Human Fund was going to be my charity choice, and nobody freaking liked it. You people suck. But yeah, 52-week lows yesterday. CRM, which by the way is I personally own at a significantly higher price, but look, it's got no confirmation. I continue to say any reaction in the market is an overreaction. This is a reaction to their earnings and their co-CEO leaving. It's just super expensive. I mean, that's the thing. It's got more room down. So I wouldn't necessarily buy this one. The PE is 481. It's got more room to go down. I just don't see where this one kind of stops. So, but that's a 52-week low. I have to pause it real quick. Okay, go on. Listen, people. Go on. No. Oh, sorry. I had to let the dog out. Dogs got up. Sorry, dog got up. Had to let her go say good morning to everybody. Blackstone BX. This is one where I think they're a real estate fund or something. You're losing. People are taking money out. This has been one that's just been on a run. I mean, you had a couple of runs here. See how it went up to 107 from October. It's coming back down to reality. It's sliding just like the rest of it. Blackstone hit a 52-week low. SoFi hit a 52-week low. This one it's part of the student loan program, extending blah, blah, blah. It's just getting killed. Lucid. We talked about Lucid. That hit a 52-week low as well. Let's look at that chart. Lucid Group LCID. Let me make sure. Yeah, I'm still on TrendSpider. And that one's down. Hold on one second. Dog's crying. I'm in the middle of this. Okay. So there's people watching you on YouTube Live right now. Well, not me, I hope. Yeah. They can't see me. Okay. I just told Mom people are watching her on YouTube Live. She started yelling, "Not me, not me." Why am I not on focus? There we go. Okay. 52-week highs, 52-week lows. Sorry about that. Dogs were crying. 52-week low. Yeah, Lucid. 52-week low. SIG. I have a note about earnings. This is Signet Jewelers. This had a cross up. Look at Signet Jewelers. This is interesting. The algorithm on this makes you 20%. You have 28 positions. 32% are winners. Your average win is 19%. But here's the killer. For you guys who are TrendSpider want to look this up, the symbol is SIG. If you buy and hold over 1,000 candles, this made you 149%. Just 1,000 candles, 500 days. What's that, 2 years? 149% on a jeweler, Signet Jewelers. Crazy good earnings. You had a MACD cross up at 69. Now, look at the RSI at 64. Look at the cross up. If you're looking to buy a jeweler, I'd probably wait for it to come back down towards the 64 range. That would be my guess. But let's look at some of the upgrades. PE is 10. It's got a 1.15% dividend. Oh, and I got to get rid of these pop-ups. Telsey Advisory Group, Market Perform. They reduced their price target to 85. 85 would be great from a $65 price target. So, yeah. Signet Jewelers. Crazy. I had that note in my thing. For Bill on Instagram, thanks for checking out my 2 stocks. I checked out stuff for him yesterday. LU. Let's see. What's LU? I don't even know LU. Lufax Holding. Interesting one. I don't know why I'm just kind of looking at this chart. Interesting in that it came back. $1.80 was the buy-in, December 1st. You're trading at $2.06. My guess is this is a mess as far as fundamentals go. Financial credit services, PE is 2.89. It's a Chinese stock, Chinese fintech. Operates a technology-empowered personal finance services platform in China. It offers loan products, including unsecured loans. Is it getting killed today? Let me see. Because most China stocks today are getting killed. So did it get killed? It's down to $2. This is an interesting one. It's got a PE. It's got a dividend of 8.21%. It just crossed the earnings, but they don't have an ex-dividend date, so I don't know if they're paying a dividend. That's an interesting one. Now, you do have, from a confirmation perspective, see, red candles above that 9-day. It's getting down to $2, so it's going to be right at about the 9-day. You may have a button hook coming. My guess, though, with most China stocks is that you're looking at probably more towards the 200-day, which is $3.07. There's a gap up here at about 217. It looks like it was filled here back on December 5th. So I'd be a little bit wary of this one. If you've made your money because it's China stock, because it's kind of low, I think this one could turn quick on you. But I do like that one. I like that one as well. The other one that I think Bill in particular, it's Micron. And Micron I've loved since the 70s. Not this 1970s, but since it was in the 70s. And we'll pull this back so you can see. I liked it here. And I've been wrong. But the play hasn't been wrong in that the algorithm loses you 38%. Buying and holding loses you 25%. You win 35% of the time. The average win is 4%. But I do see you have no confirmation right now. You're out. And there is no confirmation kind of quote unquote coming. That MACD is probably going to cross up. It might cross up before the earnings. I'd keep an eye on it. If you got TrendSpider and you got my algorithm, you could keep an eye on it yourself and set an alert for yourself in TrendSpider. And that could go back to the 200-day, which is around 56. It's at 53 right now. The most recent was a 2% win, but you could have gotten out up here. Honestly, that button hook was pretty clear. The immediate drop was hard to kind of quote unquote time though, but it's gotten below that 200-day. I don't see any gaps below it. If you're in this one, again, you take a look at this one. This is a quality company. I continue to say you buy quality companies. Look at the weekly chart on this one. It's used the 200-day as its support level. Even through COVID, it used it as its support level. And it came back. There is no reason to think that this one's not going back up to 63 at some point in time. Just a matter of when. And if you look at the fundamentals on this one, Micron, PE is 6. Forward PE is 15. The reason it's so high is because they have huge amounts of inventory. Go read the news on it. Credit Suisse, November 16th, outperform, target price $78. They've just got huge inventory levels. They overproduced based on everybody ordering chips, and they've just got an enormous inventory that they have to discount to get out the door. But from a long-term perspective, just look. I can't tell you that this is the bottom at 53, but I would say hold this one. Even if you're losing on this one, you absolutely hold this one. So, Bill, thanks for listening. Now I've got one that I probably need to yell at the listener for. Dylan on the Facebook private group, and I told him I was going to be like daddy and yell, "What the F are you doing?" RA Medical Systems, RMED. First, let's look at FinViz. It's not making money. Doesn't have a dividend. Price to sales, 435. They are nowhere close to making money. You're down 92% year to date. August 13th, 2019. That's the last coverage date, Piper Jaffray. Overweight to neutral, $1.50 price target. There's some recent articles that you can probably read on this. What do they do? A medical device company develops, manufactures, and markets excimer lasers for use in the treatment of vascular immune-mediated inflammatory diseases. Dr. Tom is going to have to weigh in on this one. But RMED, the chart's ugly. Hopefully you're probably momentum trading this one, Dylan. And momentum trading, the algorithm kind of might not do you favors, but it got you in December 1st on $3.08. You can see here's the volume. The volume in the past few days has just been tremendous. You're heading up towards that 200-day. I would say the 200-day is probably the stop at 662. If you bought in at 3 and you've got 662, take half your money out of it because that's your initial investment. And then everything you have left is just, it's the house money. I mean, that's the perfect thing in that you take it out. I just, honestly, the algorithm loses you 94%. Buying and holding loses you 98%. So either way, you've lost almost your entire investment if you bought up 500 days ago. Now, the average win is 21%, and the reason the average win is 21% is because you do win big on this one, but you only win 18% of the time. So that's the algorithm. But look at the volume levels. I mean, the volume levels are clear. This is 100% a momentum trade. So Dylan, if you're in this one, kudos, high five. I would probably take your money and run on this one. I'd rather see you trade it on a daily basis rather than say, hey, next week I think it's going to go up. That's not how you do momentum trading. You do momentum trading as quick as you can. Some things I'm going to go over on Facebook after this. By the way, if you're still listening and you want to watch on Facebook, we're at the 50-minute mark on Facebook, just so you know. But there's once I'm done with the podcast, I can't talk. Amit from Facebook wanted me to go over a couple of things. Fish hooks, the button hook that I talk about on the MACD when it crosses down and on the charts. I'll go over that. The gap ups, the gap snake is what it's called on TrendSpider, and it shows you the gaps. Again, it's a TrendSpider thing. And SMA cross and MACD along with RSI. He wants to see some of that stuff. So I'll take a look at that one. We talked about MongoDB. Toll Brothers, they reported earnings, and it was an interesting one because they basically said, yeah, we are building houses for cheaper, but people are sitting on the sidelines. So their year-over-year orders are down, and they're continuing to build at a pretty good pace. And they're just assuming that people are waiting for rates to kind of settle. This has an ascending triangle. And it's interesting because while you have a $46 price target on this one, it doesn't have confirmation. So I wouldn't say buy it into earnings, but it was an interesting earnings release. And if you want to read about it, go over to TOL on FinViz, and you can read some of the analysts from Barron's, The Street, Fox Business. You can read some of the results and some of the quotes from the CEO. It was interesting because I think if we're heading into a recession and the housing market kind of softens a little, that's an interesting one. Because, again, I like the triple levered DRV and DRN. DRV, we had a cross up at 53 on November 17th. This is the 3 times bear real estate market. You do have a gap up here between 58 and 62, and you're trading right now at 51, but you're still in that trade. And you can see the MACD is kind of going up, the RSI is kind of going up, but the stock hasn't gone up. So we're seeing some in the real estate market, some resistance to actually the short going up. Now, DRN, probably the same thing. You had a buy-in here at 11.26 on December 1st. So you're in both the bull and the bear on this one, ironically. And it's just going nowhere. But from a gap perspective, down here between 973 and 1043, you've got a gap below on DRN. So I'd probably look at those two and say, in my mind, DRV. And by the way, I'm probably going to be trading live later today. So I may put some money into DRV. Boyle, bounce. Excuse me. Oh, by the way, back to Toll. One of the quotes, home builders are saying buyers are just holding off buying. Newly ordered homes are down 56% year over year. So people going in and saying, yeah, I want that house. And if you haven't built a house before, it's kind of a cool process. I built 2 myself. Not necessarily, they were in communities that were being developed. I built one in Florida, and I built the one that I live in Atlanta. It's a fantastic experience. It's fun. My brother's building a beach house right now. It's enjoyable. So if you have that opportunity, I haven't built through Toll Brothers. My parents built through Toll Brothers a couple of times, I think. They enjoyed it. It was years ago. Much different experience than today. Wolf Research, by the way, today downgraded a lot of travel stocks. Booking, Expedia, TripAdvisor, and it's because of the economic downturn that is expected in the U.S. and Europe. I went over Delta Airlines yesterday. I like Delta to go back to 40. It's got the ascending triangle, It's trading at 35. I think 40 is a pretty good price target on this one, just historically. I think that one is where it could go. But I like that one. Airbnb was cut by Morgan Stanley with an $80 price target. Let's see, A, B, and B. That's the symbol on this one. You're down at 93. So I'll have to look at if there's an Airbnb short ETF that I can do on that one. Chinese tech all lower. Baba, JD, Baidu, NetEase, and the Kweb. It's based on lower trading data from China. This is despite China opening up. They're still loosening their stuff. So we're going to go into a couple. I think I've gotten everybody's requests. And I yelled at Jordan enough for RMED. But hey, if you're in at RMED and you've doubled your money, man, high five. REI. I wanted to look at REI because this was one. It's an energy stock, and I think somebody got into this one based on my recommendation. But ironically, it got you out next candle, and it's filling this gap. It's filled the gap down to 234. You're trading at 238. Let me see where it is live, if I can look at it in Active Trader Pro. If anything interesting pops up, I'll show you. Here, let's go over to Active Trader Pro so I can show you kind of what I see from a live trading standpoint. This is a 5-day, 5-minute chart. And you can see when I recommended it here, not a good, a good thing. It kind of went up on open, went up to 279. Then it lost all its confirmation. And if you were trading and you bought it at this point, I would tell you it lost its confirmation on a 5-minute chart. Get out. Get out. Just get out. And it'll show you some of the things that I do with trading live. But see, it's below that 9-day. It never gained confirmation. You can always rebuy it back. But when you're trading stocks like this, you want to be able to move them. This is why, for people with full-time jobs, I tell you, do not buy these triple levered ETFs. Do not buy these risky plays because you have a full-time job. You don't have time to watch this. For day traders like me and people who can actually watch this stuff, this is the stuff to watch. But see how that's just gone down, and then you continue to lose it. Today, let me look at it real quick from a 5-minute perspective. I'll zoom in. Oh, if I can get this to zoom in. It does have confirmation now. So it's above that 9-day right there. We'll go to a 2-day, and I'll do a 1-minute chart. And yeah, you can see it's kind of on its way back up. So might be a good time to buy because if we go back to Safari and we look, it's covering this gap down here around 240. In pre-market, it's trading at 240. So with that MACD cross up there, you can clearly see, let's look at the MACD. It crossed down. So it crossed up and then it immediately crossed down. But the RSI is at 25. Is this the turnaround? If you wanted to double and whoever bought into it wants to dollar cost average, I think that would be a good gamble right there because you've covered that gap. And if we look at a long-term chart of this one, and this is just chart, it's not fundamental. So I don't know, maybe there was something in this earnings report because that's when it started to fall. But this is a daily chart, and you can clearly see above the 200-day at 340 to 356, there's a gap that hasn't been covered. That gap up there right above that 200-day, I think that's where you move. Because look at this long term. I mean, it trades right around that 200-day from a daily perspective. And it seems to hug it. So that 200-day could move down. But from a weekly perspective, you're just kind of gaining the 200-day back. You've kind of lost it a little. And you can see 2018, energy wasn't a big thing. And then energy started to come back. Can see those Bollinger Bands there. See, this is where the volume started. There's no real volume to push it up here. But when you go back to the algorithm and we look at the 4-hour chart, you still don't have a lot of volume, but it could push it up. I like that gap on the daily. So I figured I'd take a look at that one. The last one I'm going to look at on the podcast is BNGO from yesterday. because we lost all confirmation on this one. BNGO, you had a $2.15 price yesterday. I think it closed at $2.16. Let's look at Active Trader Pro. So I'm looking at the actual prices. I don't think that this one trades a lot pre-market. It does a little bit. It's trading at $2.20. So if you got in at $2.15, you're probably doing pretty well. We talked about how this one has this gap here that's been filled. It's above the 200-day. It used that 200-day as its support level, and I think you're looking at 295 when this one kind of moves back up there. I don't know for sure, but because the problem is it's not making money. This was an ARK fund find. So it's down 27% year to date. Can kind of see from the FinViz chart, it's just kind of moving. But I do think when you look at the resumed coverage, Oppenheimer outperformed $12 price target. You look at those price targets from the most recent, and yeah, they're earlier in 2022 and 2021. But this is a genomics company. Healthcare is probably going to be a boom. And when you've got a genomics company, you've got healthcare, I like it. So I may actually trade this one for the $1,000 trade. Morning, guys. Anyone trading DKNG waiting on that 12 to 13 level, but looks like it wants to hang around 14. Let's see. Let's look at DraftKings because full disclosure, Robert, I own DraftKings, but I own it at like $40. Here's DraftKings on the algo. It got you out with a 3% loss yesterday. I would probably be looking like you, that 12 to 13 level, because you've got an 1177 to 1234 gap. You're below that 200-day. This is going to be a magnet. The problem that you have with DraftKings, and this will be my theory, you're coming up on NFL playoffs. You're coming up on the World Cup finals. You're coming up on some pretty big gambling, quote-unquote, holidays. That's going to be a boom for DraftKings. So will they do some type of a press announcement? And if they do a press announcement, you could get, if you're shorting this topic, if you got puts in, do the puts. I wouldn't short. Again, I'm a boomer. I'm probably a little bit more less risky than some of you guys who join me on YouTube Live and stuff. But the algorithm loses you 73%. Buying and holding loses you 71%. Within 1,000 candles, you've got 31 positions. You win 16% of the time. Your average win is 17%. So this 3% loss, not a huge deal. Nothing that's too big in this run, but I would say, let me pull this back a little bit. If you're looking to try and see, this is just 2021. I mean, it's just been a downward trend. I'm not necessarily looking at DraftKings. I'm holding it at a significantly higher price. So I think that's it. I've gone on enough. We are at 50 minutes on the podcast. I will hang out on YouTube and show some of the things for Amit. Again, the button hook on the MACD, the gap up, gap down, and SMA MACD stuff. I'll explain a little bit of that. But if you have any questions, hit me up. Remember, I'm probably going to do live trading. Facebook Live group, we've seen a pretty good inflow of folks joining that one. It's if you go down in the description of the podcast, there's a link tree. You can find all the links there. Thank you to the supporters. I know I don't thank you guys enough. If you make money and tip me, I super, super appreciate it. If you lose money, don't tip me. Don't tip me if you lose money. I will lose you money as much as make money, but if you do make some money, throw a tip my way. And the links are down there to do that. If you want to support me monthly, the link on Anchor is there to support me monthly so that you don't have to think about it. I really appreciate the monthly supporters. If you have any questions, you can sign up for TrendSpider, get my algorithm. It's 25% off using the DSP25 code. Again, I really appreciate you guys, and I look forward to kind of trading and doing a little bit more day trading with you guys on this charity drive that I'm doing. hopefully I can make, $400 or $500 off 1,000. And if I can, kudos. I am going to be doing risky. So this isn't, hey, let's throw some money in here and do long term. This is $1,000. So, okay, take care. Export song to disk. Okay, I'm getting rid of that one. Oh, now I get to export this. Oh, okay. By the way, anybody still listening on YouTube, hit the thumbs up button. It helps a ton. I was looking at some of the stats last night. I'm going to move this over here so I can see the YouTube live. But it helps out a ton. Because I was looking at some of the stats, and it really does help. Okay, we're going to go over to Active Trader Pro, because the one that I wanted to, I know I said there was one that was interesting. Let's look at RMed. How's this one doing? You're at 509. Issuer failed to meet NASDAQ continued. In a lot of these that get retail trading, you get issuer failed to meet. Dow at lowest level since November 17th. For anybody that missed it earlier in the YouTube live, I went over all of the reasons why I think we're in for more downside. Okay, we're going to go over to Anchor. I'm going to upload this. New episode. I think the market's still heading down. Unfortunately. That's my take on it. Insert ad. We'll go with P code again. I like P code. Anybody have any questions? I might go over those things for Amit soon. I gotta find it. Find some stuff. I should pin the TrendSpider deal. Who's in on TrendSpider, by the way? I like, Mara's one. I think that's the one I was looking at, James. Let's look at Mara. It's kind of lost its way a little bit right now. It's got a downturn. But at some point, 579. The algorithm has you in at 605. It's already gotten the button hook. Is the MACD crossing down? Looks like it's crossing down, but God, that RSI is so low at 33. God, I love this new MacBook. By the way, I'm still big on Apple. Let's see, Apple's. There was an announcement yesterday that I posted in the Facebook group that Apple's car may be coming out in 2024. That would be pretty freaking awesome. Let me see how this sounds. There was an announcement yesterday. That's pretty good. You guys can still hear me. Is your dad a boomer like me, Zephin? I'm probably your dad's age. It's interesting. So, and you can tell your dad, here's the algo. The algo, it plays in a middle ground. And that's where you kind of play safe. It's because the MACD is a bunch of moving averages. It doesn't time the bottom. It doesn't time the bottom well at all, and it also doesn't time the top well. But it plays in that middle ground, and you'll see if you draw trend lines in a bear market, you're in that middle ground, so you're losing less money. Douchebag. um, but yeah, tell your dad if he wants to understand Boyle and things of that sort and look at that kind of stuff. It's interesting. And your dad, mid-40s, man, he's younger than me. Call me daddy. I think I said that to somebody inappropriately yesterday. Call me daddy. I'm going to title this SPY and the Overall Market. Sectors update 12/7. By the way, anybody with a MacBook, do you guys leave the toolbar up unhidden to hide the notch? I leave it up there. And this MacBook but this is my first time doing the YouTube live here in New Jersey with this MacBook, and oh my freaking god, it's awesome. It is awesome. Oh my god, that looks horrible. How did I do this? Oh, okay. I've got to change this. Support the podcast. And I've got to get links. Sorry, I'm kind of doing my and my dog is barking. I don't know if you can hear. Log in. Bum 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 bum. Let's see. Trendspider link is here. Copy. We're going to put that in. We're going to put the Weeble link right here. Copy. Open a new link. We're going to do support the podcast. Support the podcast. We're going to do that here. I think you can still support it monthly. Yes, you can. Here. And we'll put this, open a new link. And social links and more. Copy. Open a new tab. There we go. Okay. And then I can take this and we're going to update the episode from yesterday. And we'll put this in here today. Then I've got to get my notes. I'm going to go over those things for a minute in 1 second. Start with SPY. Tom likes GDXU and CRK coin. Plug and TSA. Salesforce, SoFi, Lucid, SLG, for Bill. LU. LU was interesting. MU. RMND, MongoDB, and let's look at we're going to take that out. Earnings per share, TOL, Bounce, Airbnb, Baba, JD, KWeb. No cross-ups today. Okay. By the way, it's another down day. Let's wait for Jim Cramer to say. No recession. I don't see a recession. Let me drink more spam juice. Publish now. Okay, here I'm gonna copy that. I like BNGO, I think. We're gonna go Twitter. And then we're gonna put in I like that triple levered gold ETF for a long term. Because I do think I'm going to put in Mara. I tell you what, James, I like Mara. Mara's just, it's hung up in that damn crypto fiasco. Blackstone and SoFi. My buddy Charlie at MLS is going to be pissed at SoFi. He bought a bunch of it. Signet Jewelers. You know, I was thinking of buying Signet Jewelers at like 40, I think. Lucid. MU. Bum, bum. Dylan, Armed wasn't as bad as I thought. We're going to look at those for a minute. Oh, no. Oh, come on. Why can't I delete this? What? MDB. Armed. Okay, we're going to take that out. We're going to take that out. Boyle and KOLD. KOLD, LNG. Airbnb is cut. We'll put in Chinese stocks, JD, KWeb. I think I lost a bunch of stocks. Maybe not, though. We're going to put in, okay, we'll tweet that out. Did I lose a bunch? I know TSM I went over too. Oh, there's TSM. Okay. We're going to do the majors. Okay, we're going to close this down. We're going to do this. And we're going to look at, I'm going to pull up Active Trader Pro. And we'll do this. TQQQ, SMMT, SQQQ, Tesla, SOXL, BAC, Amazon, AMD, Neo, LabU, GOSS, QQQ, CCL, XPEV, T, XLF, Meta, Snap, FXI, iTub, SoFi, Ford, SH, UVixy. We got to look at UVixy. 762. Man, VIX has not gone up. And NVIDIA. Let's take out. We need 3. So let's take out. We'll take out those. And then we'll tweak this. Boom. And we'll look at our profile. Okay. Admit I'm finally getting to what you want. Yeah, we're fucked. Jim Cramer on why investors should trust Federal Chairman Jerome Powell with his ability to beat inflation. F you, Jim Cramer. Happy holidays. Become a supporter. Okay. Gonna close that down. We're gonna look at home. And let's go back. I'm gonna bring you over here. Do Safari. And I gotta pull up my notes so that I know what it wants me to look at. When I say fish hooks on the MACD, okay, we'll take a look at, I think he means button hooks. And this is the MACD. Let's look at Apple. We'll just look at Apple, for instance. Even though I don't like trading Apple, we'll look at Apple. And so the MACD is moving average convergence divergence. If you guys ever want to know, investopedia.com. This is a website where you can, if you want to look at MACD, strike line, anything that you want, that's where you can look. So here, see how the yellow line is what's called the strike line. The blue line is the MACD line. This is where volume kind of indicates, it's called the oscillator. When I talk about button hooks, I'm talking about, see how it crosses down? It crosses up here. There's a button hook down here. I'm talking about these hooks where cross ups. Okay, that's the MACD. So the algorithm's based on a MACD crossed up. And when I talk about button hooks in particular, I'm talking about, see that button hook right there? It's clear you should get out there. It's lost its confirmation below that 9-day, which is the green line. But the algorithm gets you out after it kind of hits its high. As you see that button hook, that's where you want to get out. Similarly, as you see that button hook down here below, it's where you want to get in. Take a look at this one because this one's interesting, this particular one. We'll zoom in a little bit here. This one in particular got you in at 141 right there, okay? And you get up here to about 156. Now, I would tell you at this point, you're seeing the starts of a button hook, and I would get out. Again, it's Apple, so you probably don't necessarily want to get out, but that's the button hook that I'm talking about on the top. The algorithm actually waits a couple of days, and it gets you out with a loss here. See the red? That's a loss. So when I talk about button hooks, you're talking about button hook on the bottom, button hook on the top, and you can look at it from the MACD, from the stock chart that you're looking at, anything. If we go and look at XLE Energy, this one has button hooks as well. You can see there's a button hook up here, and then boom, you lose all the confirmation. There's a button hook. It's not as pronounced here, but it gets you out at 27%, and boom, you lose all your confirmation. Down at the bottom, you've got a button hook down here. Now, you can't time these things because remember, you can't time the market. But from a button hook perspective, I don't care if you're on a daily, I don't care if you're on a weekly, I don't care if you're on a 1 minute, 2 minute, 4 hour, whatever chart you're on. When you see those button hooks and you see the momentum and you see it changing, that's when you can take a chance and look. The algorithm doesn't time the bottom. See? Right here, it doesn't time the bottom. Got you in at 72. It has the confirmation. Once you have confirmation over that 9 day, that's when you kind of want to get in. Now, I probably would have said, hey, there's a button hook here. You want to get out. Boom. But then you see another little button hook happen here where it just gains its confirmation and you can get back in. Again, you can never tell what the market's going to do, but it's a good risk on if you want to just guess. And again, a lot of this is guessing and it's understanding the charts. There's nothing that's for sure. So that's just, when I talk about button hooks, that's when I talk about. When I talk about gap up and gap down, this is a perfect example. Look at this gap here, okay? You're trading at 85. This gap, it's a gap snake in TrendSpider. And you can look for gaps on any chart. TrendSpider makes finding gaps easy because it's got this gap snake, so it highlights the gaps. Gaps don't always mean it's gonna get filled. 100% does not mean that. There's no percentage of when the gaps fills. There's no science behind the gaps. It's just when there's a gap there for some reason mathematically, the market wants to fill that gap. And so again, I use the 200-day as my kind of split. And so this gap down here, if you break this 200-day at 81, that gap between 74 and 73 comes into play. And so you can see it here, that gap. And what a gap is, if you want to know what a gap is, let's see if Investopedia has it done. Yeah, gap analysis, gap trading, how to play the gap. Boom, you've got it right there. So you can look at that. But the benefit of TrendSpider is that you have gaps here. Go and read up on Investopedia about gaps. His third question, do you look at SMA cross and MACD along with the RSI? So I use a couple of SMAs. I'll kind of tell you. The short term I use EMAs because they react faster. So the 9 and 21s are EMAs. The long term and medium term, 250 day are SMAs. And so I do look at those crosses with an RSI on my chart. I've got all my moving averages up here. I've got my MACD here, and I've got the RSI here. Again, this is TrendSpider. You set up yours the way that you like it, but this is my setup in TrendSpider. Anybody that's gotten TrendSpider, I know you guys can shout out, and you can look in the Facebook group. People like the setup that I have. And it's, again, available in TrendSpider. And let me see. Let's see. Let's look at TrendSpider, and we'll look at pricing and plans. What do they have a special now? Let me see. You need this elite level, the middle level, this elite, to actually get my algorithm. The premium at $33 a month doesn't get it for you. I know it's twice the amount, but if you use the code Daily Stock Piss, DSP 25, you can get 25% off. But remember this elite level, you've got futures, aftermarket, you got pretty much everything there. This is where it starts to differ when you get down to the more advanced. Well, where is the back testing? Futures aftermarket charting, 1 minute scan. Oh, see the X. You don't have indices. You don't have back testing. You don't have multi-factor alerts. Intraday scanning. You can scan intraday. Automatic anchoring. Auto anchoring capabilities. Stock splits, analyst ratings, insider trading, asset seasonality. You can see the seasonality. I can show you that one if you want. Yeah, I saw yours. I like Justin. Justin had a good setup. He had great colors on that one. Minute scanner time frame, 1 day and up. Max results per scan, 25. Here's the back testing though. That's the key to my algorithm is that back testing. Because again, you can back test any strategy that you have to back test it. So for premium, I don't think TrendSpider's worth it. I don't think it's worth it at all. The elite level, 100%. I pay $500 a year for it. Told you guys that. I think the Black Friday sale that I was pumping, there was a reason I was pumping that Black Friday sale. It is the best sale that they have. Absolutely best sale that they have. 7-day trial free. Cancel anytime. So that's my sales pitch. Yeah. Let me look at these sectors again. See, that's over the 200 day. And it's got that button hook. I think it's coming back down to that 200 day. That's 72. It's only $3. So this is consumer staples. Yeah, here. Let's go to YouTube. TrendSpider. If you go to their channel, they have unbelievable live charting. They do live charting every week. How to use TrendSpider updates. Look at these. I mean, these are just amazing. How to backtest strategies with TrendSpider. It's from 1 month ago.
Hey everybody, Dan here with TrendSpider, and in this video we're going to dig into one of our most powerful capabilities in the platform. That's backtesting. Now, everybody knows TrendSpider for our analysis tools, our automation capabilities, our scanning. Backtesting is a little bit less popular in the platform.
TrendSpider, follow Dan Ushman on Twitter. Let's go. Ushman. Tell him Gary sent you. Daily Stock Picks. That's him. He's an amazing, amazing guy. But he's got Signal Stack, TrendSpider. He's the CEO. Lives in Chicago. Fantastic. If you have product features that you want to see in TrendSpider, he's incredible at responding. Super, super active on Twitter. And so responsive. Everybody on Twitter from TrendSpider is super responsive. But follow him. He told me that I'm gonna be allowed to share my algorithm at some point with an update. I think it's on the product roadmap. So, but yeah, this TrendSpider, all of this. I mean, they've got hours and hours of video. Virtual chart events. They've got more. TrendSpider University. They've got significantly more like intraday setups with day trades with Brocco. I mean, this is an hour-long YouTube live. Price Behavior Explorer. How to use the TrendSpider scanner in under 4 minutes. Scanner's awesome, but TrendSpider's great. I love it. And again, if you can't make $500 a year in trading, probably shouldn't be listening to me. Let's go. Or you're just not listening to me correctly. Let's look at this one. What I want to see is, there were a couple that I was interested in trading today. Mara's got some confirmation here. I won't trade Mara until the market opens, though. But look at that upward trend. And you're above that 9-day. Let's look at BNGO. You do have some confirmation. Let's see, Boyle. Boyle lost. This is funny. This was where the, let's look at the 2-day. Pre-market, this was where the US and the UK announced an agreement. And again, any reaction is an overreaction. Look at that. It went all the way up to almost 30. 29.33 at its high. I think that's the high. Yeah. But if we go back here to Safari and we look at Boyle, I gotta look at my portfolio too. All right, some ARCs are up. Baba's down 4%. Ethereum's down 2%. GBTC down 1.26. Coke is up point. By the way, remember when I said buy Coke at 51, 55, I guess? Is that anything in the 50s? I think it's at 63. It's leveling off. We talked about the button hooks. There's the button hook. Talked about gaps. Here's a gap that was caused right around earnings between 56.18 and 56.56. Let's see, where's my, there is my. So we're going to bring this to August, and we're going to move this back a little bit. Does that affect how you guys see it? No, it shouldn't. There. We've got the volume shelves here. That's what I wanted to look at. Probably going to get brought down to 62. But Coke's an interesting one. Let's see, is there anything that's way up? Nothing that's way up in my portfolio. This is one I'm waiting for a turn. Amazon. Let's check out GOOG as well. These are getting killed. Megatech, which is technically what I trade a lot of, it's just getting killed. By the way, if you guys haven't rated me on Spotify or Apple, rate me. I like Brian Sullivan, man, on CNBC. NQ_F. What the hell is that? NQ1 under, let me see. NQ1 E-mini. Oh, these are the futures. Oh, let's just proceed. Oh. Oh, I don't want to put my address out there, so we're going to switch this over here. don't want to do that. No, I don't want to pay $7.50. No, we're not going to do that. Okay, we're going back. Thanks, Amit. Hey, Amit, I just went over your stuff. Were you here for it? And give me a thumbs up. Ally Jeffries. Let's see. Let's look at Ally. I'm going to go back to Safari. Ally Financial. This is the one that Buffett just got out of, didn't he? Or did he get into it? Let's look it up on FinViz. Oh, come on. See, it got you in there at 25 and then out with a slight loss. And it hasn't crossed back up. But this has been a falling knife. See, the MACD is down. They've got some problems. Let's look at Ally. Amit, that's no excuse, man. Zephin is on West Coast. He's in Orange County. Zephin's with me at 4 a.m. every day. So, let's see. Your Ally Financial, 4.29. They've got a good dividend of 4.73. They're down 46%. Downgrade. $19. What are they trading at? It's 25. Ally looks ugly. Amit. See, I hate those Zax things. Talking about insiders. I don't think you can see this. I don't think you can see this on my screen, but I'm looking at the insiders on TrendSpider, another benefited TrendSpider. Justin, you're on West Coast too? That's why Justin always says, yeah, when I get off at like 10 a.m., Justin's always commenting, good morning. Did the market open? Yeah, it's 9:32. Let me see. I'm probably way down. Look. Indices check. You guys know what that means because you guys are day ones. Check yourself against the indices. So we'll go over to Active Trader Pro. I think you can see it on Active Trader Pro. No, I guess not. I have down below a scrolling of the tickers. I am down 0.37. And the NASDAQ is down 0.36. Dow is actually up 0.01. So I am underperforming, which I have been the last few days, and it's not good. So Amit, did you see my I covered your 3 questions, but I can go over them real quick if you want me to, because I think there's new people watching. And by the way, if you guys aren't subscribed, subscribe. I need 1,000 subscribers on YouTube to actually monetize crap. Not that it's going to be a lot of money. But at least I can monetize. And then I'll start making videos and I'll do a course and I'll do some... I am going to, and I told Zephin this. I think I told Zephin this. I'm going to do a video. It'll be kind of a live stream, but I'm just going to record it and post it. Chris Sacramento. Man, and I had somebody on the Facebook group say they're listening in New Zealand as well. So, and I think New Zealand beats all you California people if they're actually up and listening. But man, you guys on the West Coast. I travel to the West Coast probably 2-3 times a year. And I don't know how you guys do it, man. I lived in Palos Verdes, California for about 10 years. So let's go over to Oh, I don't want that. Active Trader Pro. I'm going to bring you over here. Because TQQQ, we talked about this one. Getting under 20. When it's under 20, buy it. Buy it all day long. When it's over 20. But the other one that I've liked to trade in the past has been Uvixi. It's up 1%. And this pivot has always been around 10. The VIX is at 22. With us going down the way we have been, I don't know why the VIX is at 22 and not at 30. It shouldn't be there. And I'm checking because everything just went positive. Yeah, I'm positive now. Everything just went positive. But see Uvixi got to 780, lost its confirmation. We'll zoom in here. Oh, and one thing I should tell everybody. So the Webull challenge. Yes, you should still sign up for Webull. I've been using their app, and I like their app a lot more than I like the Fidelity app. I put $1,000 in there. I will probably not be trading with that $1,000. And the reason I won't be trading with that $1,000 is the PTD rule. And let's go back to Safari. And we will go over to Investopedia. And we will type in PDT. Let's see, P rule. Let's see if it comes up. Let's just Google it. PDT rule. There it is. So this is an account that's under $25,000, I believe. Yeah. A pattern day trader must hold at least $25,000 in their account. So essentially, the government says, we don't trust people to make their own decisions if they have less than $25,000. And so they will not allow you to do more than 4 trades a week, and you get stopped out of doing trades. So you could find a trade that you like and not be able to do it because you did 4 trades in that week. You could want to get out of a position, but you can't do it because you already did 4 trades in that week. So, yeah, I'm probably going to trade in my Fidelity account where I have more. So, Amit, let's go to, we're going into TrendSpider, and I've got this spider sectors. And I've got all 11 of them. So as far as banks go, here's my take on banks. Here is XLF. Okay. XLF, let's kind of pull it back here to a normal range. And we'll kind of build those volume shelves. That's a good area for the volume shelves. So when I talk about filling gaps, here's a gap. And see how it's starting to fill that? 3408 is a gap. My assumption is that you fill this at some point in time. May not be today because you got a green candle here in the morning. But it may, and your MACD is moving down, your RSI is moving down. We are getting a bit oversold. So as far as the banks, I think XLF, banks I would say you could take or leave it. Now, Bank of America, this is one that has just lost all confirmation. See, you got out with a 16% gain. Yeah, 16.53% gain from $31 here, October 13th. You ran all the way up. You've crossed the 200-day, which means you're probably coming back down here to $30, I would say. And see, the MACD is kind of going down. The RSI is at 24, completely overrun. We can talk about Goldman Sachs, which is one that legendary run here, 20% on Goldman Sachs, but it's lost. It's covered that gap already. It's probably coming down to the 200 day at 337. Probably going to break it again. Banks just, there's, if you're going into a recession, these banks are probably going to get hit. Their earnings are coming up January 13th, so you got plenty of time between now and the earnings. There is a volume shelf up here, which is interesting because it's built that volume shelf, and it is the largest. So most people were buying way up there. Let's pull it back here. That's a big ass volume shelf up here at 379. That's a big ass volume shelf. My guess is you're coming back down here to the 200 day. 200 days right there. You got a volume shelf right there at 337. That would be where Goldman Sachs is. And BAC, let's look at BAC. Ally Financial, by the way, let's look at their book value. 33.80. So you're trading below the book value on Ally Financial. You just got to find, that does not tell me, hey, we should buy Ally Financial. There's some problems there. Let's look at Bank of America. Their book value is $29.65. So you're trading above it. See, the PE is 10.44. 2% dividend, down 25% year to date. Clearly in a downward trend on the daily. Goldman Sachs, I think their book value is 300. Yeah, 307. 307. PE's 9. Why do I have... I have all these pop-ups coming up. I got to do something about that. This is Goldman Sachs. Is this Goldman? Yeah, Goldman Sachs. Keefe, October, 429 price target. I don't think you're getting there now, but I think you're coming back. But yeah. Anything else you guys want me to look at? I'm going to go eat my breakfast. It is now 9:42. I'm not staying on until 11 today. I may hit the notifications, subscribe to my channel, hit the notifications because I may come back on and live trade. Because it does look like if we look at, I'm going to look at S&P. Because see, the UVIXI's trading down, which will typically mean that the market probably is an upward trajectory. You do have some pretty good confirmation here with the S&P. End of day yesterday, it's continued on its trek. It's kind of losing it a little bit. But you've got some positive momentum. Now, of course, it's kind of just dead. And this is the problem with the market today. It's just dead. MongoDB MMMAT. This has got to be a hype trade. Imagine buying at $2.40 and then you're down at $2. You better have some tight stop losses. Look at that volume shelf right there. 221. It's coming back up to 221. It's early trading volume, but I bet it's going to 221. Yeah, and the problem is if GMAC is rebranded as Ally, I think it's just auto loans. High interest rates, high defaults with car loans because you're getting into a recession. Oh, guys, the one I love. Oh, I was on Active Trader Pro. You guys weren't on Active Trader Pro. Somebody needs to watch me and look at Active Trader Pro. The one I love. Look at this run. Now here's the thing. 247.90. You're at 319. There's a gap, but you cross that 200 day and you have confirmation. Let's go over to Active Trader Pro. Because this is the one I was telling you about, MAT. MMAT. It's the second most traded symbol on Fidelity right now, but it's lost everything. But I bet you it's coming back up to that 220 mark because that's where a ton of people bought right there. But let's look at, this is the one that I want to show you. Sedge. Look at the 2-day on this one. This is up 5% today. Look at that. It's lost its confirmation now, but if you can get this at 300, buy it. Which one? BAM. What is BAM? Brookfield Asset Management. I got a 5-day of this one. Boy, that's ugly. Let's go back to Active Trader to Safari and look at BAM on the algorithm. Brookfield Asset Management. So you are in line to fill this gap between 42 and 41 below that 200-day. I don't have splits. I do have splits highlighted. It's not showing a split. Let's see. BAM. Brookfield. It's trading at 21, which is expensive. 1.29%. Upgrade Credit Suites in April with a $71 price target. Let's see. This is December 6th. This was yesterday. There's a press release. Announced the expected 2023 dividend. As previously announced, the transaction for the public listing and distribution of a 25% interest in Brookfield Asset Management through the manager of the Way plan is expected to be announced beginning in the first quarter. The corporation is expected to pay a quarterly dividend of 7 cents per corporation Class A limited voting share. The manager is expected to pay a quarterly dividend of 32 per manager Class A limited voting share. So, 32 cents to the limited voting share. The assumed corporation shareholders retain their manager's shares received in the arrangement. The corporation quarterly dividend of 7 cents per share, adjusted for the shares being distributed, would equate to 15 cents per current Class A share, representing a 7% increase. I have no fucking idea what this all means. God, I hate lawyer speak. I don't know what to make of Brookfield Management. It's a REIT, so it does have should have a higher dividend than 1% on a REIT. But I'd say right now you're looking more towards 41 than you are to 44, 46. That's my guesstimate. That would be my guess. Go back over to Active Trader Pro. Oh, what was the one? Was it GMed? Hold on, I gotta look at my notes. RMed. GMed I did trade before. RMed is one. This is the one that Justin has. This is an interesting one. 5-minute candles. Doesn't have any confirmation. But here, if I go back for you guys that were late, we'll look at RMed because it's an interesting setup here. You can see the algorithm has you buying in at $3, $3.08 right here, December 1st, so 6 days ago. And you're at 478, 479. And if I go back over to Active Trader Pro, it's It's right where your volume shelf is. Okay. Let me make sure my... Who called me? Oh, she called me on the phone. Okay, I gotta go make a phone call. What's I gonna look at? What's new? Monetize, grow, and blah blah. Okay. Remember to hit the thumbs up button. If you guys have any questions, hit me up on the socials. Hit the notification, the bell notification, so you know when I'm live, because I probably will go on later and trade. I got to go hit the dogs up and make a phone call. So, okay. Hopefully I answered all your questions a minute. Remember, subscribe to TrendSpider. Use the link that is below. Did I put a link below? Yeah. Use the link that's there for, it says use DSP25 or 25% off TrendSpider. Click that link, use DSP25. Support the podcast, listen to the podcast, all other links. Anything else that you guys need, there's a link tree down below as well. So, hit the thumbs up here. And subscribe. There's a lot of people that aren't subscribed that watch. So, I do this every morning. Okay.